Hi, this is Steph, and today I want to talk a little bit about the work of Byron Katie. This is the central process of the work that I do, and I use this process a lot for myself. And people keep asking me, why should I do this? Why should I ask these questions? Why should I inquire into my thinking? What is the good of this? Isn't it just another way of positive thinking or of trying to change my mind? And to make it a little clearer, I would like to share how I came to the work and how I experienced it. And that, because this is the reason of me still using it regularly, almost 20 years after having been introduced to the work. So I was given Katie's book, Loving What Is, when my twin girls were about 9 months old. And it was a really challenging time for me. And when this book arrived in my household, I first of all didn't even open it because the title was just too cheesy, like very American. Loving What Is, with this woman on the cover, and I didn't know who she was. And then I did at some stage open it and started reading. And what I found was the story and the process of a woman who had come to deeply understand what she was. Not so much who, as in, this is my place in the world, but what, as in, I am a form, an expression of a universal life consciousness. And her description of a life lived from that understanding is a life that is light and compassionate and incredibly loving and understanding of everything that happens in this world. And this is an understanding that comes from having questioned her own judgments. She describes her moment of understanding, the initial moment of understanding, in these words: I saw that when I believed my thoughts, I suffered. And when I didn't believe them, then I could see that the universe is kind. And describing how she experiences life and taking other people through the process of the work, you can see the truth of these statements. It just shines through in such a powerful way. It is an understanding that our thinking mind informs our perception of what is happening and clouds our awareness, our pure consciousness, to the fact that we are supported in this universe and that we are given everything we need to grow and to mature. And her understanding resulted in results, still to this day, she's still alive, in such deep compassion for people and for herself. That she has gone past the ability of seeing anything as an enemy in the world. It is such a beautiful, enticing, inspiring way of experiencing the world, that when I was done reading, as I was reading the book, and when I was done reading the book, for me, it was like this: I want that. That is what I want. This is my aim in life. And ever since then, that hasn't shifted at all. The The only thing that has shifted is as I am using the process of the work, I experience ever deeper understanding and compassion for myself and in extension for everybody I encounter. Because there is that initial sentiment has proven to me as being true. I can see clearly that if I suffer, it is because I believe my thinking. It is not because something is happening, but because what I think on that situation that is presenting itself. So for me, this has held true, and it's still holding true as far as I can see, because I do the work with a lot of people, and it holds true for them as well. So this is the reason why I love this process and why I love taking people through it. And that's the reason why I think everybody should use this process. Although I know it doesn't work for everyone. Not everyone's on the same path. Not everyone's on the same state. And that is, of course, perfectly fine. And then to just quickly go over the process and just take it apart a little bit so that you can see how it creates this deeper understanding, this awareness of the self, awareness of who we are in this world, and then the ability to step aside and allow ourselves to become bigger and to become more connected to this field of consciousness that envelops life, all the expressions of life, all the forms of life. So the process works in questioning our thinking. So we start with becoming aware of a situation that causes us discomfort, any kind of stress, any emotions that we label as negative, anger, fear, jealousy, resentment, you name it, there's many of them. Anyone will do. Ask ourselves, why am I feeling this emotion right now, which most of the time gets turned out because this person is doing XYZ, or this situation is playing out in this way. And so we write that down, and then we apply the 4 questions of the work and the turnarounds to this one statement. So it is to start off with, it is a meditation in how does my thinking color my experience? So it is a meditation, and it is also a training in focus, which is part of meditation, but we often forget that this is part of meditation. It is a training in becoming very focused, very aware of what is happening in my reality in this moment. So say the initial thought that we're working with is, somebody lied to you. So he or she lied to me. And so you put that down into a situation. This might be your child, this might be a partner, it might be a work partner, it might be a parent, whoever it is. Most of us can find somebody who lied to us at some stage. And then we ask the first question of the work, which is this true? And is it true is a way of entering the work and a way of starting to check in with our own sense of truth. And the answer to these questions to this first question is either yes or no. And often the mind then wants to go and justify and defend whichever one we pick. And then the second question, if your answer has been yes, it's true for you, then you move on to the second question, which is, can you absolutely know that this is true? And so this is just an invitation to ask yourself again, to begin with a deeper listening to what is actually happening for you. Can I absolutely know that this is true? And Again, the answer to that question is either yes or no. And then the third question of the work is, how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought? And in this question, you have the opportunity to really become aware of the influence thinking has on your environment, so on your experience of life. So this question isn't about changing your mind. It is about creating awareness. It is about learning the extent that thinking influences how you live. So it is about learning about yourself, learning who you are, learning what you are. So there's quite a few sub-questions to this. And again, this is a meditation. This is an invitation to consider you. And then the fourth question is, who or what would you be without this thought? So this question allows you and invites you to step aside into the position of the observer. How would that situation look different if I wasn't thinking that they lied to me? How could it be that it's different? And this is where this work becomes a deeply spiritual portal to self-knowledge. Because in asking this question, who would I be without this thought? We step aside from thinking just for a moment and we watch. It's part of a training of becoming aware of the present moment and what happens in the present moment. And then you turn the thought around and you look at how the opposite of this thought could be true, could be as true. This is a very counterintuitive practice for many people, and many people struggle with the turnarounds just as they struggle with embracing all of what they are with love, understanding, and compassion. And that is exactly what is missing in this world, is the ability to do that for each and every one of us. And the work can be, this work of Byron Katie can be a portal and a practice to that, to becoming a part of humanity, not just one human, but a part of a consciousness of alive energy, of the aliveness that makes our world. It is an absolutely powerful and beautiful practice if you allow yourself to drop into it and really answer these questions. And if you want to know more, have a deeper introduction to this work, there's going to be following videos on this video. So just go ahead and continue, and you can jump into a trial run of doing this work.